Okay, here is a kind of a special video, not exactly a tutorial. It's more like something that have been requested to me is to reproduce this effect on Smode. So this little furry ball that comes to our point. Okay, so those furry balls that come toward the point and get attracted and repulsed. So first let's create a little particle emitter and a camera. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going, so we'll see together how that works. So first thing, Ctrl-Shift-A to add a renderer and suppress a renderer. Let's add some motion line over that. So operator motion line. All right, does that work? That work. Let's add a little bit more step in the line and diminish the particle. Let's say emission, let's say 2 particles by second. Okay, and let's put that as initial count 100%, pre-simulation quality 100%. Okay. Now let's create a little field which will be an attractor. And okay, let's select the attractor. And the issue with the attractor, you have control over its point here. So you can learn that in OSC or whatever, and this will attract your little particle. So let's augment a little bit the power of my attractor. Go back into the mode. All right, so there we have something. Let's add in the point attribute a little opacity at the beginning and at the end. Maybe let's them leave a little bit before they appear, so we don't see exactly from where they are emitted. Let's reduce a little bit the step of my motion line. Okay. Now in my default line here, let's change this uniform map to a noise. And what I'm going to try to do is to simulate this kind of like a trail effect. So maybe instead of using I was using the motion line, and my first idea was maybe to use a noise like that to enlarge a little bit the motion line and to put the line as fully horizontal, but that's not really what we want. So maybe instead of motion line, let's emit particles from the particles. So let's add a little bit of an operator which will be emit particles. Okay. So what emit particles do? It emit particles from particles. So let's put a speed at 0, and we should have some nice trail appearing. And let's emit a shitload of particles and diminish the size of our point to 0.1 maybe. Okay, Control Shift. Okay, let's add way more particles here. Okay. So here the thing is that I have some particles wandering around, and I don't exactly know why, because my attractor should only affect my first system of particles and not my second one. There you have it. It should do some nice trail like that. So let's try to first configure those trail. So let's put that as main point, duplicate, call that trails, and put my emit particle only on the trail, and diminish the size of the trails. Okay. Now on my emit particle, this one, I will add a little turbulence field. And let's put a edge mask over it, so the turbulence doesn't go crazy on the beginning of my particle life. And let's play this. Okay, and let's put on the emission a little speed, just a slight one. Okay, let's add a little randomness into that. So my lifetime will be like 1 second, and my lifetime random, let's say 25 frames. Okay, so I now have some kind of trails. Let's check in 2D what that look like. Let's increase a little bit the turbulences, maybe. I'll reduce the scale. So scale and strength are intricated together. So if you reduce the scale, you should reduce the strength too, because then it will go like pretty quickly, like it will look like shit. Okay, so that kind of look like the balls that I wanted. Let's put that in additive mode and that in additive mode too. Let's re-put our attractor and see what's happening. So it's maybe a little bit too strong, but we start to have something here maybe. So let's diminish the power of the attractor. Let's augment a little bit the size of my main points, and maybe let's add some blur, some feedback, I mean, over this. Okay, let's diminish the emission time. So let's put a randomness of let's put that to maybe 40 frame and put that back in 10 frame. Okay, diminish a little bit the main point here. And maybe my issue here is that my trail are not wide enough, so maybe augment that a little bit, diminish the opacity. It looks more like smoke than anything else, so let's diminish a little bit this emission rate to 10 frame and with 2 frame of randomness. And let's put the main particle with the lifetime way lower, like 5 seconds. And let's put a little randomness, like 2 seconds of randomness. Let's put that back to 5 seconds, 5 points, sorry. And 1 point second of randomness. Okay, so maybe instead of scattering those particles from a point, let's try to scatter that from, let's say, a sphere. So the sphere will be like fucking huge, so let's put it back its size to like 0.5 meters. Okay, so now my point will not be emitted from a single position, but from a different position, and I still have the control over my attractor here. Again, the position are here, so you can put that as you want. So then it will require, of course, a little bit of tweaking, but you have seen in this video, the different step of the process. So I hope this will help somewhat to create what you want to create. So this is a tutorial that has been requested by a user. So if anybody have request, feel free to ask. So we did not achieve to have the exact same feature, but I'm pretty sure that using these techniques we can have this kind of effect that we have here. Yeah, so there it is for now. So again, it was not really a tutorial, it's more like a random stuff. I didn't even knew from where I was going and where I was going. So there it is. Good night.